We've seen the mutual fund industry grow rapidly and, of course, make wealth for a lot of people. The idea is we also want to reach out to underserved population. So, your thoughts on this?
Right. I think the average age of India, as we all know, is like 28.4 years. As per the latest Digital India report, only 24% of India's population is financially literate. Also, if we look at World Bank's Global Findex data, we see that India is one of the seven countries home to half of the world's 1.4 billion unbanked adults. If we look at the Comprehensive Financial Inclusion Index released by the Reserve Bank of India, we see a positive trend wherein it has improved from 53 to 56 to 60. Also, there are other positives that we see in the environment around us in terms of digital and fintech adoption. India's fintech adoption rate is the highest in the world at 87%. We have 1.25 billion digital IDs or the biometric IDs that we call Aadhaar. We have 650 million internet users. Hence, I think when we talk of masses, when we talk of the larger segment, including the larger segment of the society within the financial framework, financial literacy and digital adoption both play a very, very important role. And hence, we talk of bite sized finance. And when I say bite sized, of course, there is a deliberate pun on the word bite, which means BYTE and BITE, which means micro products or sachet products made available to the masses, enabled by technology. So, like for example, in 1970, when single-use shampoo sachets of rupee one each made it affordable and accessible for the masses, the same way, I think sachetization or democratization of financial products is what can bring about a phenomenal change when we talk of financial inclusion. So I think 2024 is all about using digital technology for offering micro products so that the entire bottom of the pyramid can also participate in the financial environment.
That's a great point that you mentioned, Dr. Gupta, especially the financial products sachetization to broad base the appeal of financial products. Because at the end of the day, we also have to improve consumer behavior, right? And when they find these products being accessible and bite sized, they feel that the entry barrier goes down. But when we talk about this digital transformation, I want to explore a few facets on this. Meghna, let me bring you in, because with the reliance or increasing reliance on digitization, the question is what challenges and opportunities you foresee in terms of financial data security, especially with this growing influence of AI and machine learning. We are in a world where a lot more data is going to be exchanged between the customer and the brand, as they say. So your thoughts on how this is shaping up to be, especially the challenges and opportunities.
Right. So, I mean, because of digitization, we have massive opportunity, right? Just like Jasmeet was just mentioning as to how there's an 80% adoption of, financial products and services, and we have the highest rate of fintech adoption in the world, right? That kind of massive scale and digitization also poses many challenges and many opportunities. So let's talk about, challenges first, right? So the biggest challenge with digitization is, threats to data security, threats to privacy, and a lot of, you can say, financial losses that many players can incur because of the threats to cybersecurity, right? So for some of the key things, right, especially with the advent of AI, the reason AI is getting popular is because with the using of AI models, you can actually scale your financial security, digitization, your product adoption, and scale access to services and products at a very massive level, because you'll be able to implement decisioning at a scale. That's what AI does. But with the same thing, while we have this ability to scale decisioning, there's also the threat of something we call model poisoning. which means somebody with a malware, somebody who can come and hack you, can also come and tamper with your model and make you make wrong decisions that can have devastating, consequences, either on the borrower or the recipient of financial services, or for the organization that's providing, financial services. So model poisoning, I think, is one of the biggest challenges that I see, because if there's a threat to data security, right? The second thing we look at is, lot of dangers to person's financial and, personal identity because of the increasing digitization. So again, using malware, if there's a, if we don't have the right cyber security measures in force, people's identity and privacy can be seriously compromised, right? With the increasing threat to cybersecurity. So another challenge that I see is, how do we ensure that while we have so much data, while learning from so much data, we're building machine learning models, we're creating RPA processes to automate a lot of financial services, even at the basic level. How do we ensure that a person's fundamental personal identity, his financial data security, is not compromised, right? So that's another huge challenge that we see, right? And the third thing is, generally how bad actors coming in and creating a lot of problems in the system per se. So now organizations have to kind of invest, reinvest, and rethink and their entire strategy of how do they look at cybersecurity if they increase their digital adoption, right? So these are like three big challenges. And in terms of opportunities, I mean, I see that these challenges can bring in a lot of opportunities. The first opportunity we get is, now there's a lot of regulation that's coming in from a data privacy perspective and international regulation. So even if you look at just SOC compliance, or a lot of compliances that would, that are aimed at, protecting the identity and financial data of a person who's a recipient of services, then the kind of digitization and the kind of innovative solutions you could bring in for these sort of compliances itself, right, is an opportunity for RegTech. And many organizations, technology companies have an opportunity now to bring in AI itself to ensure that there is, compliance with these sort of advanced regulations aimed at protecting financial and personal data security. Then we look at, individual implementation at an organization level, right? At each data center where, your cybersecurity is being enforced, there is a lot of room for innovation and partnership. So it's not just that you would, not only externally can you partner with people who are innovating, but internally within an organization, you can look at, reinventing the game yourself at your each, individual data security level, right? And also in terms of the, overall creating awareness, the opportunities now for organizations not only just to provide these sort of data security measures, but also couple that with awareness, right? So a lot of content can be generated, and that could be a lot of opportunity, let's say lead gen opportunities, for you to kind of spread this kind of positive content, and then also provide a service to this, but a particular group of individuals or groups. So there are a lot of opportunities. And overall, if you kind of look at the digitization, that means there's more and more data available. That means you can, regulate actors. Like, I think we'll talk about things like ESG in the future. But all of this is just, is possible because of the massive amounts of data available and digitization, that we're able to now hold people accountable, even from a corporate governance perspective, with, regulations like ESG. And only all of this is possible because of the massive amounts of data available today.
An investor education and awareness initiative of Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.